Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get-together live here on Facebook. It's Monday. It's December. It's cold. It's wonderful. It's great to be here this morning. It's December 11th. Tomorrow is Guadalupe Day. So the processions are almost over. I don't know if you had a chance to go check them out. But tomorrow, hopefully, traffic will go back to normal in downtown Puerto Vallarta. And I also hope you had a wonderful weekend. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I had a great weekend just chilling, doing a lot of projects at home. I started Luna her own blankie because she has been hoarding mine. So it was a good weekend. But it's great to be back on the Coffee and Headlines saddle of sorts. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you'll let me know what you were up to this weekend. And of course, as always, we welcome those of you that are watching live for the first time. If you want to let us know that you're watching live for the first time, all you have to do is write the word new in your comment. We'll be so happy to give you a nice little welcome. And for the rest of you, welcome. And if you have something really important that you wish to share, adding a capital letter Q at the beginning helps a great deal. Let's take a look at some news. And we start with Señor Air. You may or may not remember that several months ago we announced a new domestic airline called Señor Air. And Señor Air promised a series of new connections between Puerto Vallarta and other regional destinations. The airline has finally begun operating with a new direct flight from Puerto Vallarta to Cabo San Lucas. The flight will operate twice a week on Wednesdays and on Saturdays. And additional flights will be inaugurated sometime in the near future from the airline's hub, which is Cabo San Lucas, to Los Mochis, Mazatlan, Guadalajara, and Mexico City. I will leave you the item for you to check out in the show notes, and hopefully this will give us other opportunities to visit other interesting places. And the next one is about the parking lot at Sam's. The parking lot at Sam's and Walmart across from the Maritime Terminal has been free since it opened, but this is all changing on January 2nd. As you can see from this image, barriers are being installed in all access points, and according to preliminary reports, parking at this parking lot will be 10 pesos per hour moving forward starting on January 2nd. I don't see a big deal. Some parking lots charge, others do not. But what will be interesting to see is what happens at the Sam's parking lot for all the entities that gather there. For example, there are a number of taxi cabs that have been parking within the parking lot for many years. We don't know what's going to happen with them. There are a number of tour buses that leave from that parking lot. Whenever we've talked about tour buses going to places like Tequila or shopping trips to Guadalajara, specialty tour buses usually meet at that parking lot. There are a number of blah blah car service providers, blah blah being another platform that is kind of like Uber, but it travels from cities to cities. A lot of them meet at this parking lot, so we don't know exactly what is going to happen with them, but hopefully they will have an alternative worked out for this new change. Moving right along, in case you want to go into the ocean, you may not be able to do so in Nuevo Nayarit or Nuevo Vallarta or whatever you want to call it, because the Etcetera FIBA and Villa Varadero beaches have raised their purple flag, indicating the presence of wild animals. In this case, I think a crocodile has been spotted. So there's no swimming at these beaches until the crocodile has been found and relocated. And here's another broken promise by our mayor, Mayor Michel. As you can see from this social media post dated May 25th, 2021, a former Mexican soccer star by the name of Osvaldo Sanchez came to visit Puerto Vallarta. And at the time, he made a promise to work with the municipal government to build a football school here in town if Mayor Michel actually won the election. And of course, he won the election, but the football school is nowhere to be found as of yet. In April of last year, the soccer star published a video confirming that he is simply waiting for Mayor Michel to give him the green light. "We will give you a surprise soon," he said, "as we don't like to tell lies." The surprise, unfortunately, is yet to materialize, and when Mayor Michel is questioned about this, he is quick to change the topic, apparently. And of course, tomorrow is Guadalupe Day. The processions end, but something that you will probably not be aware of is that there is the Guadalupe flame, the torch, that has been traveling from Mexico City, from the Basilica, which is the main Guadalupe church. It left Mexico City on Saturday, and this is a challenge that is taken by a group of faithful volunteers and athletes. This year, there are 59 volunteers and athletes who share the challenge and the commitment to bring the Guadalupe Torch on foot to Puerto Vallarta as a testament of their faith. Now, that is over 1,000 kilometers, in case you're wondering, and it gets cold out there. And these athletes and volunteers simply take to the road, take to the highway. They sleep where they can, and they have relied on families for decades to help them find shelter at night. But this is yet another aspect of the Guadalupe tradition, and the Guadalupe Torch is expected to arrive in Puerto Vallarta sometime tomorrow. Let us hope that the rest of the trip is without incident. Let us take a quick look at the weather forecast just to see what's going on out there. Aha! Don't tell anyone, but I regularly send bad weather to areas with high concentrations of believers. And that's believer with a B, not a V. So I don't know, it's misspelled, but I don't know if it relates to specific groups of people. Who are the believers with two B's, as in boy? I don't know who they are. What I know is that it is 27 degrees out there. Right now, humidity is at 57% rather. And our weather forecast says we're going to have clear skies this morning with thunderstorms in the afternoon, a high of 31 and a low of 21. And then on Tuesday, tomorrow, we'll have a humid day with mostly cloudy skies, a high of 31 and a low of 21. And then Wednesday, a little bit cooler. It's going to be humid with mostly cloudy skies throughout the day, a high of 29 and a low of 21. And this brings us to a wonderful sighting that was reported to me. And this makes me really happy. We talked about some Mexican main course dishes that we enjoy during the holidays. And I mentioned three of them. One of them was bacalao. The other one was romeritos. And the third one was ensalada de Nochebuena. And I was so happy to receive these photographs from a dear cluster member yesterday, indicating that, as I had hoped, Costco is already serving or selling rather bacalao to bring home. So if you see this at Costco and you're like, okay, what the hell is this? Well, this is a Mexican holiday tradition. We described this last week. And then, of course, we also described the romeritos, which are these delicious plants that are cooked in mole sauce and that are served with dry shrimp patties. So if you're looking at this, this is not some kind of chocolate concoction with brownies on top of it, or cookies rather. This is actually romeritos. It's a savory dish, and it is a wonderful thing to have. Again, I've never bought these dishes from Costco, but this year I want to treat myself to them, and I will not be cooking them at home because, when you live alone and you're only cooking for yourself, there's only so much cooking you want to do. And this is a little bit more ambitious. So if you want a taste of Mexican Christmas or holiday celebrations, you can give these a go. They are pre-cooked and ready to warm up. If anybody hears of any local restaurant serving traditional Mexican holiday food, please feel free to share your comment. And then what else do we have? We have, let me put this one first. In case you are craving some good homemade chili, our friend Gina from Whiskey Kitchen has launched her own YouTube channel. It is called PV Cooks. And her first video is out showing us how we can make the best homemade chili at home. We got to hand it to Gina. She's got her hands in all kinds of dishes, and that's the way she loves it. And of course, Gina and the staff and the whole project at Whiskey Kitchen have been very, very dear friends to Coffee and Headlines. So we're always happy to promote whatever it is that she's doing. I have not seen the video, but I did try the chili, and it was absolutely delicious. And I saved this for last because it made me roll my eyes a little bit. Travel and Leisure has published a list of 9 best places to retire in Mexico, according to real estate experts who apparently know a lot about retirement. And the list, of course, includes Puerto Vallarta. And needless to say, I went and read what they had to say about our city, and it is a bit of an eye roller, or maybe I'm just becoming old and cynical, or both. Let me read the text. It says, with daily flights from many U.S. destinations, it's no wonder Puerto Vallarta remains one of Mexico's most popular places to live and retire. That's the first statement. To me, that reads as, well, if you don't like it or you have to go back to your own country in an emergency, you have daily flights. So I suppose that's good. Then it continues. The destination draws expats with its idyllic location on the Pacific coast, backed by the lush Sierra Madre Mountains, vibrant hospitality scene, international cruise port, and private marinas, golf courses, rich cultural program, and excellent medical services and hospital facilities. Okay, so where do we start? Well, all of that is true, I suppose. I suppose we have an idyllic location. I suppose the mountains are lush. I suppose the hospitality is vibrant. international cruise port because, when you want to retire, you're going to be able to, well, you cannot hop on or off a cruise if you're here. You're retiring here. So I don't get that part. And then private marinas, I try to find some information about what percentage of American retirees actually play golf, and I couldn't find any specific numbers. Golf courses, rich cultural program. Rich cultural program, I think that's the part that made me laugh the most because it really depends on what you define as culture. if rich cultural program consists of immersing yourself into a culture that you think you may know a lot about, and then all of a sudden find yourself with all kinds of opportunities to immerse yourself in a culture that is not familiar to you. Yes, we do have a rich cultural program, but I don't understand what they might be saying about rich cultural program because we don't have theater and we don't have ballet and we don't have a lot of things. We don't have museums. Or we don't have many. So I don't know where the richness is coming from. Excellent medical services. I get that. But of course, that happens until you develop something really serious. And until you read that there are people waiting to get heart surgery at local public hospitals because there are no doctors. Just this morning, I read this frightening bit of news where one of the IMSS clinics couldn't open because the person that had the keys to the door forgot the keys at their home. So I don't know what to tell you about that. Maybe I'm being just snarky. Why do Americans choose to retire in another country to begin with? It's something that I was thinking about this morning. I don't hear of many people from other countries saying, oh, I'm going to retire or I'm done working. I'm going to go retire elsewhere. It seems to me that it's only our friends north of the border that do this, but I could be wrong. And then it says the most popular types of properties with retirees are oceanfront residences and condos with amenities such as beach clubs, pools, tennis, and pickleball courts, and concierge services, according to some gal from a local real estate office. And again, maybe I'm not hanging out with the right kind of people. Most of my American friends are living here in a, fairly conservative allowance. And it's not like they're going to be able to afford beach clubs, pickleball, tennis, and concierge services on a regular basis. But maybe my perception is skewed. And I get it, John. I get it. Americans retire in other countries because their money goes further. I get that part. But, what is interesting to me, and if you are an English-speaking local, you can certainly appreciate, I hope, a lot of these articles don't tell you much about what it's really like to live here. I finally lost it laughing the other day when a friend of mine said to me, you want to really have an amusing time? Just go sit at the waiting area at the Intercam at the bank in Colonia Emiliano Zapata and just wait for some person that speaks English throw a hissy fit because nobody understands that person or there are no people that speak English. I mean, that's a reality. So again, I'm not trying to stir the pot here, but I do wonder, and I have said this before and I've gotten shitty mail as a result of it, why people choose to move elsewhere simply because it's less expensive without wanting to immerse themselves in the local culture, without learning the language, without caring for the local traditions, will continue to be a mystery to me. And that's all I have to say on the matter. Let's see what you have to say on the matter. Good morning to everyone that said good morning. Thank you very much for your good wishes. Purum pum pum. Pim purum pum pum. This doesn't have a Q, but it has my name. Paco, I saw the funniest thing on TikTok that reminded me of you. It was a hardcore gangster with tattoos all over his body who loves to crochet and knits his own clothes. Oh my goodness. That sounds sexy. Was he cute? I would love to find out. And then Gary has, speaking of traffic, is it me or are the accidents increasing this year? I understand the added congestion, but transport vans running into poles, cars ending up in the canals, and this morning one was upside down. Well, Gary, I don't know that there are more accidents this year than the year before. I'm always aware of a number of accidents because I check the news every day to bring content to Coffee and Headlines. What I can tell you is that there are definitely more vehicles out there, and the number seems to increase every year. So with more vehicles, I suppose the odds of more vehicular accidents increase. So it is what it is. Okay. Fabulous benefit party last night for the Vallarta Girls School at Biblioteca Los Mangos. That's good to know. Let's see. Looking for cues. Here's a cue. Justin Bieber fans are believers. Fair enough. Now I know. It looks like a lot of you know this. Clearly, I'm not a fan of Justin Bieber, so I don't know anything about that. Any suggestions for a restaurant serving traditional Mexican food on Christmas Eve? I have none to share. I see a lot of local restaurants serving food that Americans and Canadians would like to eat, but I have not seen any Mexican restaurants serving some of the traditional items that we have been mentioning. Wouldn't it be nice to see somebody taking a chance and instead of giving foreigners what they're familiar with, opening their eyes to new and wonderful ideas? But that's just me. Gina is a whirlwind. I get tired just reading what she's up to. That makes two of us. Let's see what else. Cluster, have a great start to your cooler week. Big hugs to Paco. Te queremos, amigo. Speak of the devil, Carmen Porras. ¿Dónde está la comida tradicional navideña? Where is the traditional Mexican Christmas food? If you hear of anything, let us know. We come to Mexico because the warm winter states in the U.S. are full of crazy people. Well, as long as you don't bring the crazy people with you, that's cool. Pat says, I agree. These reports about retirement don't speak to me and my circumstances. And I think, again, you know, there is retiring. There's many ways to retire, and people retire according to their means. But this overall mythical perception that life is fabulous here for retirees always leaves me wondering. Let's see. It always amazing to me that none of the articles about how great it is in Puerto Vallarta mention that it is the Mexican people and their kindness that make this such a special place. Thank you for that, Dan. I am totally in agreement with you. Intercam comment, oh my God, so true. As if all services in the U.S. function perfectly. Verizon, I'm looking at you. And speak of the devil, here is the Gina. Gina, good morning. Thank you for sharing your video with me. I haven't watched it, but having tried the chili, I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun. And there's another cue. At the Guadalajara airport, we were asked where we were from, and their response to us, being Canadian, was, oh, Justin Bieber. Ugh, okay. fair. Let's see. Da 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 da. Intercamp people are funny. They need to go 2 by 2 and huddle over the ATM and act like they have never used one. Oh, don't get me started. Oh, because I'm sure I'm going to offend somebody. When machines are empty, they are completely baffled to what to do, as they can only communicate with English speakers. I have no comment on that one because I don't want to stir negativity. I just think, if you keep your expectations in check, you're likely to accomplish more things as far as anything in Mexico, whether it is moving here or simply trying to get some cash out of the ATM. And that brings us to the end of today. I hope you have an awesome Monday, and I hope you have a great beginning of the week. I will be back here tomorrow to give you more coffee, more headlines, and more eyes that are rolling at the news. Why not? Have a great day and stay in touch.